cool. I'm not sure.
I had a lot of people sign up, and I know some of them probably are going to watch it live because
Oh, okay.
they said
Okay.
they were going to do. Um,
So where is the platform that it's being hosted live from?
so you can see it on LinkedIn, you can see it on YouTube,
Oh,
you can see
okay.
it
I've
on
never done one
Facebook.
of those before. Okay, so when you said live stream, I wasn't sure what that
Yeah.
meant, but that's pretty cool. So it's through all your channels. We are basically
Yes. We are we can be seen across
on.
everything. I think it even sends it to what used to be called Twitter, but we're not really active there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Brianna, does it go to Instagram too? I don't know.
Yeah, well, all your logos or all the media channels, social media channels are on the bottom, right? So if all of those
Yeah.
are streaming, so
Well,
YouTube
it doesn't
as
go to all
well.
those.
Okay.
It does
Okay. Okay.
Empower Innovation does not have
Oh, right. Empower innovation.
yeah. But it goes to places, yeah. So I'd like to welcome those of you out there that are watching and those of you that are here with us. I am Thomas Hall, Executive Director of CleanStart, and we are here today with an excellent CleanStart perspective, especially if you are interested in validating your technology. Now, before we get into that, I want to say CleanStart is supported by SMUD, our local utility, who has the goal of zero emissions by 2030. Fresno State, the WET Center. We are part of the innovation cluster of the Central Valley of California, funded by the CEC. Also, River City Bank, which finances countless clean energy projects across the United States. And we have a new sponsor, Bloom Workspaces, down at 20th and Capitol in Sacramento here. Go check them out for a great community to connect with. Chico Start, one of our sister organizations up there in Northern California, helping us connect with rural communities, bringing them opportunities like CalTestBed and other funded opportunities through different organizations. Also, the California Mobility Center right here in Sacramento to helping prototype and scale clean tech innovations. I also want to thank those of you out there who are regular supporters of CleanStart. You help build our wall of support here, and I want to send a special thank you out there. Now, let's jump into why hopefully you're here or listening and watching. We've brought to you CalTestBed. Now, I know a lot of you in the past have heard us talk about CalSeed. Well, CalTestBed is another part of the CEC's support to get companies through the valley of death. And I would like to welcome Rachel Yu, Senior Program Manager at CalTestBed, and Kayleen Arulo, Program Manager at CalTestBed. And I apologize if I messed any of those up, but I will stop sharing and I will let them take over, and they're going to run us through what CalTestBed is doing this year, and then we're going to talk about it.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Thomas, and the CleanStart team for hosting this live stream. It's actually the first live stream that CalTestBed has participated in this year since I've started. So very special. We've only done webinars so far. So hello again, everyone. My name is Rachel Yu. I am the program lead for CalTestBed. We are a voucher and commercialization program for clean energy entrepreneurs, and we are powered by New Energy Nexus. I'm going to share my screen here, but as Thomas mentioned earlier, we are a sister program of CalSeed, and we're going to share with you some exciting things that are happening with CalTestBed. Most notably, our applications are opening by the end of next week, October 27th, all the way through November 22nd, and we'll go over some of the dates. All of this information is available on our website. And so, trying to figure out the dual screens here. Okay, so we are powered by New Energy Nexus, which is a global ecosystem of funds and accelerators. We started in California. CalSeed is one of our oldest programs, and then we've since expanded around the world, Southeast Asia, several countries in Africa, and then we also have a New York chapter here in the US. And we strive to support to reach the vision of 100% clean energy for 100% of the population in the shortest amount of time possible. CalTestBed specifically, as I mentioned earlier, is a laboratory voucher and commercialization program. We offer up to $300,000 worth of testing to our voucher recipients in order to help them expedite the development of their technology and reach commercialization quicker. We have a network of over 70 world-class facilities that we partner with Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, as well as the University of California system across the state of California. Some of the program benefits I mentioned earlier is testing vouchers worth up to $300,000, as well as the use of the existing facilities in our facility directory. So there's a directory of over 70 of these facilities. They are available online. I will share with you the website later on, as well as all the application materials are also on there. By participating in the program, you also get access to a network of our ecosystem of technical industry experts, opportunities to present to the kind of next level groups, partners. We host an annual symposium for further networking opportunities, and there's also additional funding opportunities and access to the New Energy Nexus global community and network as well. We are a California Energy Commission funded, a CC funded program. And as part of this program, some of you might be aware of Blue Tech Valley, who I believe CleanStart does a lot of joint programs and offerings together with Blue Tech Valley. But we also have the regional, other regional clusters such as Activate here in the Bay, Lacey in LA, and then CleanTech San Diego and Imperial Valley. And here we'll get a bit into the eligibility criteria for CalTestBed. So first off, CalTestBed is open to California, to individuals or companies and organizations registered in California, because it is a California ratepayer funded program through the CEC, and they have what is called the EPIC funds that are supporting innovation in California, clean energy innovation programs such as CalTestBed. And so therefore the innovations must align with the EPIC goals, which means that they must provide benefits for California ratepayers. And the prototypes must fall between TRL levels 5 to 7. And we do have, I think in the next slide, these are based on the Department of Energy definitions of the TRL levels from laboratory grade all the way to engineering level. And then there are 10 technology types that we fund through CalTestBed. So here's the stages of development. So mostly early to mid-stage technologies. If you are aware of our sister program, CalSeed, they support even earlier stage technologies, and we kind of follow that next level on from TRL 5 to 7. And here are some of the definitions from the DOE site, which you can also click on to get more information about whether your technology fits in there. And then I believe, okay, so here, another criteria for us is that there must be a prototype ready for testing, because we are a voucher program designed to test existing prototypes. This is not to develop a new prototype. And then the testing must be completed by December 31st, 2025 within this current EPIC cycle of funding. And all prototypes must at least have a hardware component to it. So we're not supporting just standalone software solutions at the moment. So they must be either hardware only or an integrated solution. And then here are the 10 technology types that we are supporting. So these include building technologies, energy efficiency, energy storage, grid technologies, industry and ag, IoT, material-based, renewables, transportation, and water technologies. Again, all of this information is in our application manual, which is posted online, as well as all the application questions. So you will be able to find all of these resources on our website. So after we've gone through the eligibility criteria, now we're getting into the actual timelines and the process. So we are currently in kind of the outreach phase where we're broadcasting as widely as possible just to let people know, hey, we're about to open our applications. And so thank you again, CleanStart, for hosting us. And we've also hosted a number of workshops earlier with our regional energy innovation clusters from the CEC. And we have one more upcoming with Lacey tomorrow. And then I think there's like a short kind of pitch session with CTO. There's a lot. I mean, if you're in this space, you know, there's so many activities going on. Thomas and I were just talking about this when we started the live stream with Global Entrepreneur Week, Verge. We'll be at Verge. So if you're there, you know, say hi to us. All CalSeed companies must go through CTO. So, you know, CTO has their whole CleanTech Open has their global exhibit during Verge. And then, yeah, we'll also be at the Greenlining Just Summit Just Summit conference the end of this week as well. So yeah, a lot of things coming up. The actual application window next Friday is when the applications open all the way through the day before the holiday. So there's about a month or so for applications to be submitted. We do allow mail-in applications, but we strongly recommend that you apply online through our Smart Simple platform. And even before applications open, applicants can register for an account already. Then the next step in the process is basically applicants will be screened for eligibility. Then they will go through a scoring process by our technical reviewers. So there are short form questions and long form questions. The short form questions primarily screen for eligibility. The long form are then scored according to 4 different categories, which I'll show you later, by our technical reviewers. And these are presented to the California Energy Commission for a final recommendation of those applicants that will advance to the consultation phase, in which they develop scopes of work for testing their prototypes with the PIs of their preferred facilities. So that's the laboratory consultation phase, at the end of which will be a scope of work will be produced, and that will be reviewed and submitted to the CEC for final approvals of the budget timeline and the scopes of work. And then the voucher recipients can begin testing at their laboratories. So this is just showing the same thing that I mentioned earlier, just in a more pictorial format of application, eligibility, technical review, the scope of work development, the CEC approval, award, and then testing. Okay, so here we get a bit into the actual questions. So part 1, as I mentioned, these are very short questions, either yes or no, or maybe a drop down or under 100 words. And then part 2 of the application is there's 4 categories of questions around innovation, feasibility, scalability, and market potential. And all of these are weighted equally in the application. And this is what will be scored by our technical reviewers. And then as part of the application process, there is a drop down for applicants to choose their top 3 facilities that they would like to perform their testing with. And we will review this along with the testing campuses and, you know, the facility availability in order to determine which ones the recommended applicants get paired up with to develop their scopes of work. Yeah, and then finally, these are just the resources. I think I referred to some of them throughout the course of the presentation, but our application manual, everything that I mentioned today in this presentation is already in our application manual, as well as all the questions. So those are open to the public on our website, and you can take a look. There's also FAQs there. And the link is caltestbed.com/apply. We also have our facilities directory. This is over 70 world-class facilities in the directory that are part of LBNL and the UC system. And any of the testing can be conducted in these facilities. As I mentioned also earlier, the application, we strongly recommend applying online through our Smart Simple platform. And the account registration can be already done even before applications open. And there's the link there, calcef.smartsimple.com. And then you can also go to it through our CalTestBed website. We do have a generic info@caltestbed.com account that you can request support with Smart Simple system. We won't be answering application specific questions through this account just to provide a fair playing ground for all applicants. But for generic questions, we do have the info account. And then lastly, here's where you can find us on social media channels through CalTestBed specific or through our parent organization, New Energy Nexus, which has a global presence. And we also do have a specific email list for the 2023 solicitation if you want to be kept up to date every single week of what is going on, leading all the way to applications closing. So that is it for my presentation. And I believe now we can have some Q&A, or what do you think, Thomas?
Let me just ask a question.
Okay, go ahead, Gary. Gary Simon from CleanStart.
Rachel, thanks so much for that presentation. You've been doing this for a number of years at New Energy Nexus. Can you give us, a story or two of a success that's gone through CalTestBed? I've been involved in some that have been on energy efficiency and lighting, and know some of those stories, but just sort of give a flavor to those who are watching this. What comes out of this that helps companies?
Yeah, well, we just did. I'm actually fairly new to New Energy Nexus, but CalTestBed program is beginning their 4th cohort of companies. So we've gone through 3 cohorts, 56 companies, and we are looking, to support as many women entrepreneurs as we can, people from kind of more underrepresented parts of California, and we would love more applicants from the Central Valley as well. But this is the fourth cohort that we're about to enter into. And we just recently did an analysis of the final reports from last year. And one of the things that really stood out to me in response specifically to your question, Gary, was that over half of the companies that completed the testing had increased their TRL. So I think that was like 7 or 8 of the 15, 8, it must have been 8 because it was half of the companies. 8 of the 15 companies that completed their testing last year had increased their TRL. So that I thought was really encouraging. And a number of our companies have gone on to get, there's the CEC bridge and the ramp funding, as part of that California clean energy, that the whole ecosystem, we all work together with our partners. Obviously the CEC who provides a lot of the fundings, but also the regional and energy innovation clusters. And then the follow-on funding, government funding through the ramp and the bridge awards, as well as, kind of the seed funding that many of our companies end up pursuing while they're testing with us and asking for recommendations from CalTestBed as well. And then several of our companies also go on to get DOE awards. And a lot of that is through their participation and, becoming familiar with government grants. And this is really a key form of non-dilutive funding for early companies that could be very difficult to get. And specifically for CalTestBed, it's, I think, just having that demonstration done by a third party to say, yes, this technology is able to withstand the conditions that it says it can, and this is how it performs during these times. And so that's been very valuable that we've seen. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, one of the things that's my favorite part of kind of this ecosystem that has developed in California from, CalSeed, as you mentioned, all the way up to ramp funding, is that it gives an opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs who may not have, deep private capital access or connections to go after funding, to get their idea started, to get their idea tested. And one thing I want to kind of highlight to them that, Rachel put up there, the technologies and basically what they're evaluating on it is, make sure when you apply for these that you follow the guidelines that CalTestBed puts out there very clearly and answer their questions very clearly. Because you might get excited and say like, oh yeah, my technology does everything, and forget to say it also helps the ratepayers of California. And, you're, as someone who, when you end up evaluating them, you have to go with what the person gives you. And if they give you something that says that they're out of scope, you don't get to say, well, maybe they're not. You say they're out of scope, and that's that. I was wondering, I know you're, so new with it. What are you kind of, I guess, looking forward to most about, this upcoming year of CalTestBed? Do you guys have any maybe new partners or anything that you guys have? You're saying like, okay, we've done these couple cohorts before, and where we had success there, but we're going to take it farther with this one. Is there anything that you could highlight around that?
Yeah, I think one of the things we're starting to think through is, CalTestBed basically started, the first cohort was in 2020. So basically at the onset of COVID. So much of CalTestBed's experience has been doing things remotely. And this is really, I think, the first cohort 4, that we're thinking about doing an in-person symposium, and making it kind of I think it's going to be very different than the last few years and what our previous cohorts have experienced. Also because we're thinking of making it, feature more of what New Energy Nexus through the California program. So not just CalTestBed, but our sister program, CalSeed. And also we're having a third vertical that's primarily philanthropic funded, but is also focused on like workforce development and some youth entrepreneurship. So there's a lot of things also going on outside of the CEC funded programs that we also want to be featuring, that we can offer as like a California New Energy Nexus wide event, so we really want to make it something special this upcoming year. So definitely stay tuned for that. And a big part of the annual symposium is featuring the latest cohort. It's basically announcing the voucher recipients for that year. So
being able to go back to high five, handshakes, and hugs
yeah.
in person.
Yeah, but I think the networking opportunities through that also, right? Like I think there's something really different. I mean, we have, as much as the virtual space tries to simulate, we use the Remo platform, and there are fun like virtual conference rooms and potted plants and things that you can sit next to, and you can like mingle at the different tables, but it's just a different feel when you're in person.
Yeah, but you can't put brandy in your coffee. Yeah. So it opens up on October 27th, right? So right. If you're getting your Halloween costume together or not, make sure that you go and visit CalSeed's or CalTestBed. Oh, sorry about that. CalTestBed, to at least start getting on the Simple Smart platform. Because the last thing you want to do is, you've looked through all the things, maybe you've written everything else in a document, and then you have to figure out how to get on Simple Smart, which it is simple and smart. I've been on it. So don't overthink it, but make sure that you visit it. And reach out to you guys at info@CalTestBed. Was that right?
Yeah. info@caltestbed.com. That's the email address. The website is caltestbed.com. Well, yeah. I mean, you can go to the apply page from there as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, people at New Energy Nexus can't answer, detailed questions or give you strategy on your application, but you can come talk to CleanStart. We can tell you, we can highlight things. We're not going to be on, evaluating your presentation or anyone from the Central Valley on that, but you can come and talk to us about your application, and we can highlight, things that you should avoid or things that you should make sure that you mention in it. Gary, do you have any additional thoughts? You're muted.
yeah, we're here to help and to give you a gateway into this very generous program to get the testing done. And then, on the back end, when you do have your results, let us help you promote that and make sure that we put it in a way that investors will realize the significance of it. So this is the start of something, very important for people that are very near commercial and want to get that validation. Now, just a reminder, Rachel, when is the deadline? When does the window close?
The window closes right before midnight, so 11:59 p.m. November 22nd.
Okay, so we've got about a month
Mhm.
for people to get things in, and it's important that you do get started on that. The application is not that imposing, but important to get started on it early so that if we run into any snags, we can get that taken care of well before the deadline.
Yeah.
But I thank you so much, you and your colleague Kayleen, for joining us on this. I'm sure everybody who views this video knows a lot more about what the program is and potentially how it will benefit them.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas, Gary, CleanStart team. This is so great to have this opportunity. We look forward to partnering with you guys on other things. I know there's a CEO crash course, I think, that Jose reached out to me about, and
That'll be this spring.
Okay.
This winter, I guess. And we'd like to have, of course, people come and talk about, the grant process and how kind of things work on that. And, if there's companies that you, of course, think would be good for it, share it wide with your network. And kind of we were going to do a quick announcement on that at the end, but
okay, there you go. That's a perfect transition.
Rachel, yeah. Well, then I guess with that, I want to thank CalTestBed for joining us and coming and sharing things with us today. And as Rachel mentioned, apply now for the CEO crash course. We're accepting applications. You can go to cleanstart.org/crash course to apply there. And we have an upcoming meetup on November 2nd around EV charging. So if you want to kind of learn about some of the specifically heavy duty EV charging, what's going on with that, make sure that you attend to that. And thank you for attending. Connect with us. We'll have a shortened video or edited down video up later next week. We did have a bunch of people that did come online, so that was good. And thank you very much. And see all of you out there, hopefully in person, where we can do high five, handshakes, and hugs.
There you go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.